Good afternoon, everyone. Are we expecting any other students? Are we? Okay. So welcome to Strategic Analysis class, and today we'll be discussing Unit 3. So before we start the discussion, I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Abhilasha. I have done my PhD from IIT Delhi, and prior to this, I have done my MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Raipur. So let's start the class today. So today we'll be discussing organizational resources and capabilities. Can you please get up and tell me what you understand by organizational resources? I'm sorry? Okay, yes. And what do you understand by capabilities? Ability. Forget organization. Like generally, what do you understand by capabilities? Ability. Any other thing that comes across your mind? All right. So, for instance, you want to have your own startup. Please stand up. If you want to have your own startup, what are the resources that you would like to have if you want to have your own startup? All right. Can I keep writing it? Yeah. So, resources, funds, and land. These are the resources that you need, and labor that you need, right? Okay. Anything else that you would require? Anything else that you would require? Yeah. Okay. So we can, from funds, we can get the raw materials, yeah. Raw materials. And can you guys please come? And what kind of capabilities we would require? Guys, please be seated quickly and please close the door. What do you think? What kind of capabilities we would require? Girls don't participate in the class? Huh. Who said knowledge? Please get up. Huh. Knowledge, yes. And please tell your name also so that I am Prerna. Okay, knowledge. That will come to that later, right?
What is the question?
The question is, if you have your own startup, what are the resources that you would require and what are the capabilities that you would require?
If one should start the startup, they should have a leadership quality first, and he should be problem solver and critical thinker.
Okay.
And he has exposure.
Let's talk like this rather than this. Are we on the same page? Let's have this kind of interaction. Yeah.
And he has exposure different.
बेसिक बात करेंगे अभी. लीडरशिप एंड ऑल विल कम लेटर. अभी स्टार्टअप है, कुछ नहीं है, घर में हमने एक आइडिया सोचा है, दिस इज व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. लीडरशिप व्हेन वी विल हैव 100 people, then we want a leader, right? Like basic. Okay. So, yeah, correct. So, in this session, I'll be covering the types and nature of resources and capabilities. Then how can we transform these resources and capabilities? Then we'll identify and we'll assign appraising resources and capabilities. Then we'll do gap analysis and the case study discussion. And I would appreciate if nobody disturbs my class, please. I think you didn't listen. You didn't listen to me? Yeah. Please do. All right. So what are the types and nature of resources and capabilities? So you have to understand one thing, that whenever we study management, there is always a theory attached to it. Probably in MBA, we just have a touch and go of it, but otherwise, if you further dig into it, there will always a theory attached to it. So here the theory that we are talking about is resource-based view. So resource-based view was a theory which was given by Barney. You two, please come and sit here. Come, both of you. You two, yeah, you two. Yes. Yes. No, you come. You stay there. You come. So he mentioned about the resources can be of two types, tangible and intangible. As Prerna rightly said, knowledge. So where would you put knowledge? Is it tangible or intangible? Right, intangible. So what are tangible resources? Which we can, you can read and say, which we can quantify. For example, if someone wants to prepare for some competitive, let's start from micro to macro. If someone wants to start preparing for some competitive examination, that person would require tangible resources, a pen and a paper, maybe a class, and notebook, maybe access to internet. And the intangible resource could be his brains, his knowledge base, and probably what is available over the net, right? So these are the tangible resources when we talk about an organization. So there are four kinds of tangible resources: financial resources, physical resources, technological resources, and organizational resources. So financial resources, please get up and tell me what kind of financial resource are we talking about when we talk about an organization? Yes, I'm talking to you. हाँ. अगर आपका एक स्टार्टअप है, आप एक बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, आपको पैसे की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी, कैश चाहिए. अगर आपका ज़्यादा आपको फंडिंग चाहिए तो यू विल रिक्वायर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. ठीक है, सो दीज आर योर financial resources. When we talk about physical resources, for example, you want to have a manufacturing of perfumes, maybe soap, then obviously you would require a manufacturing unit, right? Technological resources, for example, Apple, yeah, please. Sorry? So that would not come in the technological resources, that would come in the physical resources. So technological resources, we can say, for example, correct. Like Apple has certain competitive advantage over others. Samsung can't use that, they have patented, right? They have certain patents. No one can use it without their permission, right? And organizational resources. So no matter what kind of an organization we have, be it Apple or Google, if there are no systems in place, if the employees have no such, idea about whom to report, what to do, what will be their weekly work, how to increase their knowledge base, how to do knowledge transfer, then also there will be an issue in their organization. So now we talk about the intangible resources. So intangible resources, human resource, right? Are you with me in this? What kind of innovation resource are we talking about? So we all know, right, Apple is known for its innovations. Every time they come up with a new product, they claim to have innovated with the one camera, then two, then three, probably there will be a time there will be like 100 cameras behind, right? So this is the innovation that we are talking about. Then we will talk about the reputation resource. So what kind of reputation? So if you have heard this advertisement of Tata Namak, what is the, if somebody remembers the tagline or the jingle? देश का नमक, पहले आता था नमक हो टाटा का तो, अगर नमक हो तो टाटा नमक, right? So this is like people associate that, this is a very reputed brand, it has diversified, it has lot of products, and we can rely on that particular brand. And the intellectual property, again, trademarks, patents, copyrights, and trade secrets. So if we try to understand this in a basic term so that we can use this when we'll be given a certain question and when we'll be discussing the case study. So when we talk about financial resources, it is the firm's capacity to borrow, right? If I have certain financial resource, so even when a bank gives loan to someone, they check, do you have something to put as a collateral, right? Do you understand this concept, how a bank gives loan? Guys, you understand the concept of when a bank gives loan? They ask you whether you have something to put as a collateral. Then the organizational resource, as I mentioned, the reporting structure. Whom will I report? Whom will you report? For example, is there anybody who's working here? You're working? Can I get your name, please? Where are you working? Axis Bank. So you must be reporting to someone, right? So what is the MIS structure that you report to on? If you can share it with the class, please. So you are into which function? All right. So whom do you report to? Guys? Yeah. Okay. So people who do not have a work experience, please listen to him, because probably just after an MBA you will be entering into the world of, where you will be reporting, you will be managers, probably you will have your own startup. So please listen to him. Yeah. Correct. So there are certain targets that are given to you. You have to fulfill those targets, right? So now what are the types and nature of resources and capabilities? So what are capabilities? Someone mentioned here about the ability. Can you please read this for me? Please be loud. हाँ जी अच्छा
रजिस्ट्री में एंट्री नहीं करी आपने?
नहीं अभी नहीं करी मैंने अच्छा वो भी करनी थी ठीक है तो ये सबको देना है क्या करना है
एक दे दीजिए यहाँ पे आपने ये फिल करना है या सेंड करना है टोटल
अच्छा सबको बांट दूँ ये हाँ ठीक है तो ये ज़्यादा होंगे तो फिर ये दे दूँ है ना
हाँ एक दे दीजिए
हाँ हाँ ठीक है गाइस So when we talk about the capabilities, capabilities refer to, as our student rightly said, it is about the ability to utilize those resources. Fine, you have certain resources, but if you want to make the most of those resources, you have to have certain capability to make the most of it. So there are 5 kind of capabilities: core capabilities, dynamic capabilities, functional capabilities, operational capabilities, and innovative capabilities. So when we talk about core capabilities, it is about to develop the core competencies to have competitive advantage. So when I talk about dynamic capability, it is about how can you renew and reutilize the already existing resources. Functional capabilities comprises of, so there are various functions, right? There is marketing, there is HR. So in an organization, you have an HR team would take care of your most important, your salary. Then you will have a marketing team. For example, if we talk about a product from P&G, for example, a Pantene shampoo. So there is a team which takes care of its marketing, how that product would be marketed, right? Then there will be a sales team. Then there will be a team which will take care of the financial, that how much ROI we are getting, what are the gross margins, what are the profit margins, right? And the operational capabilities. This is something about the day-to-day operations. So when I talk about day-to-day operations, it means, when employees are coming, how they are reporting. One, if there is a product which is manufactured, how is it manufactured, where is one getting the inventory from, where is the machinery, how is it used, what is the production, and so on and so forth. Then there is innovative capability. I don't know if you people are aware, I am giving you a very crude example. They develop certain things. Once it was something, if you will have a soap from Lux, you will have a gold coin in it, right? So what was the reason behind it? Because they wanted to increase the sale of their product. At times there was this ad by Shah Rukh in which it was all about rose petals, that this soap now would have rose petals. So why would they try to innovate? So that they have more buyers. Similarly, if we talk about Adobe, or we talk about Linux is a product of Red Hat, they keep on innovating, they keep on coming up with something new, so that they are sustained in the market. So when I talk about the capability type, so when I talk about core capability, so the example here is Apple. It is user friendly. If I don't know how many of you use an Apple product, it's very user friendly. Similarly, I would want you to give some other example. Right, no, you give some other example. Some product that has a competitive advantage over any other product. Anyone else can also, yeah. Huh, but does it really have a competitive advantage? Something, you know, which has some sort of a monopoly in the market. Correct, correct. Correct. So this exactly. So this is one of the core competency, and it gives a competitive advantage, right? It is about, like, for example, we have a group of five learners. Sorry.
Mama's natural product.
Right. So if we have a group of 5 students, we all have certain capability which probably the other person lacks in. So that is something. Agar मान लो I have some event going on, a fest is going on, and he knows how to design a website, and probably the others don't. So this is the person's core competency, and because of which this person would get competitive advantage over everybody else. Are we on the same page? Hello? So then we talk about the dynamic capabilities. So here, do you know what was Netflix doing earlier, before the streaming started? So they were into DVDs. You remember the time of DVDs? I don't know if any of you even remember the time of DVDs, right? You guys are too young to remember that. Anyways, functional capability, here I'll talk about Coca-Cola. So they have, it's a US based product, but we know that it is worldwide. Its logistics, its distribution is worldwide. Can you give some other example in which the logistics and distribution is everywhere, like India for example? एक प्रोडक्ट जो आपको हर जगह मिल जाएगा, मैगी. और कोई प्रोडक्ट, जो आपको हर जगह मिल जाएगा, गांव में एक छोटी सी दुकान पे भी मिल जाएगा. Parle-G. Parle-G is one. So do you understand what kind of distribution system these people have? It is everywhere. Like, you know, it is there in Delhi, so it is there in some rural area, down there in Andhra Pradesh, some gaon, some chota sa shop, it's available there. So if you're able to ensure that your product reaches that part of the country, you can be sure that your product has arrived, right? Then operational capabilities. Do you know why Toyota is famous?
Yes.
Tell me.
टोयोटा जो था वो बेसिकली इन्होंने एक मार्केट में एक ऐसे स्टैब्लिश किया था कि इन्होंने जो कार सेलिंग है उसको एक लिमिटेशन टाइम तक रख दिया था, क्योंकि उसमें हम वेटिंग इन्होंने अलग चालू कर दिया, जिससे इन्होंने अपनी कॉस्टिंग को काफ़ी कम किया.
Yeah, that can be one aspect, but Toyota का ये माना जाता है कि इन लोग, sorry, reliability. Toyota के जो प्रोडक्ट, जो कार्स हैं या जो उसके ऑटोमोबाइल्स हैं, they are known for their reliability, they are known for their toughness, and how they are able to be present worldwide is because when they require, if they get some order, right? So today they have got, they don't keep an inventory. It is about just in time. There's an order for 10 cars, 20 cars, or a fleet of 100 cars. Only then I will ask the vendor to give me the inventory. So मान लीजिए you have a startup, प्रेरणा, right? Please stand up, प्रेरणा. अगर आपका एक स्टार्टअप है, आपने घर में शुरू किया है, ठीक है, अब आपको एक ऑर्डर आ जाता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव अ स्टार्टअप ऑफ जयपुरी प्रिंट बेड शीट्स, एंड इफ यू गेट एन ऑर्डर एंड यू आर वर्किंग फ्रॉम योर होम, and if you get a sudden order of 1000 bed sheets and your house doesn't have the capacity to keep it, so would you have an inventory of that level? No. As soon as you will get an order, what you will do? You will get that from a vendor. You will not even bring it to your home. From there only you will start couriering it. Why are you doing it? Because obviously you are saving on the inventory, because you have received the order, you have gained the capital, because we know how we place an order, right? If I place an order at Amazon or Flipkart, in most of the cases we prefer paying it rather than cash on delivery, right? So they have received the capital and it is very easy. You are not paying from your pocket. you are making a certain margin out of that, and then you are able to sell it right then and there. And the innovative capabilities, here we will talk about Google, and I want some other example also. So Google, you know, they are having plethora of product. There is Google Maps, Google Docs, Google Keep. Tell me 5 more of Google products.
Google Drive, Google
Hmm?
Email, Google Maps,
Hmm?
Google Apps,
Hmm? Hmm?
Google Chrome.
Hmm? And the one that I mentioned before?
Google also provides courses.
Google Scholar. Right? Google Scholar, there you can find all the research papers. I don't know any of you have ever visited that particular site, right? So Google has many, many products, right? So these are its products. So if someone can give me another example, you there, stand up. Please give me some other example of innovative capabilities. Please share your name and then please tell us. Okay. So you shouldn't have sat there. Please come here. So we are in PG now. So let's behave like we are in PG class. So read this and give me some other example than Google. Innovative capabilities. अब बैठ जाओ आराम से. Yeah. Rather than Google, some other organization. Sorry? Huh. What about that? It's no longer. Give me some recent example, please.
Recent example.
Huh. So what about that? Yeah. What about that? What is innovative about it? That I know. Have you used ChatGPT? So how does it respond? Quickly, if you give it a command, right? So how does the AI works?
It analyzes my question and it gets to the database.
Huh. Database which are available all around, all across the internet, right? So now let's talk about the functional areas. So distribution. Do you understand how important is the distribution? Like I said, like I mentioned that Parle-G is everywhere. If Parle-G would have just restricted itself to tier 1 cities or tier 2 cities, it wouldn't have. And we all know it's such an old product. So do you know? Do you understand what Walmart does? Do you know Walmart? What is the business of Walmart? Correct. It's a departmental store. Like we have DMart here, and probably there was some talking terms going on regarding Walmart also to happen in India. When we talk about human resource, so Microsoft is one organization that really takes care of its employees, about their knowledge base. How can they be updated about the most innovative development which are happening across the world. They send them for trainings. Why do they invest in their employees? So that they remain there, because we all know that how valuable is a knowledge base of an employee, right? So we can't really underestimate the brains of the employees. If the employees are not there, for instance, if you are not there, if you are not getting the sales for your organization, then probably you say, okay, one person is not doing. No, it impacts the overall performance of an organization. Similarly, MIS is again Walmart. So Walmart is something, if you have, it's basically, it is based in US. So if you have a certain product, so they immediately know in their MIS that this product is not available, and then only they will bring that inventory. And it is so quick that most of the time when people go, they generally what they prefer is they go over the weekends, they go to the stores, they do their shopping, and then they immediately know in their MIS that the inventory is present or not. When we talk about marketing, P&G, we all know we have used P&G's products. Like Pantene is a P&G product. Any other product that you can think of from P&G? Yes. Who said? Yeah. Any other product? There are many shampoos. Correct. Good. Girls know it, huh? Good. So when I talk about, so do you know what Zara is into? Do you know what Zara is into? Tell me. Fashion. But what is the competitive advantage and core competency of Zara? So it is fast fashion. So if you will visit Zara today, probably in fortnightly, maybe 14 days or in 1 week, you will not find the same inventory. Right? You will not find it there. If you think that इसका price कम हो जाएगा, sale पे आ जाएगा, and then I'll go and pick it up, you will not find. I've tried it. You will not find it. The product is not there. They remove it because this is their core competency, right? It is their dynamic capability, which makes it different and at par with other products, right? So manufacturing, Sony and Samsung. Do you guys know that Samsung uses Sony's product in spite of they being competitors? Like the screens and all. Even Apple uses Samsung ka screen. They use the product, though they are competitors, but they use, right? Then we talk about research and development. Do you know what Caterpillar is into? What does this company manufactures? Caterpillar. कभी किसी ने किसी प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर कैट लिखा हुआ देखा है? So they are into heavy machinery, right? ये जो आपकी JCBs होती हैं या आपकी cranes होती हैं, so there is an organization which is called Caterpillar. So they invest a lot into their research and development. Similarly, Apple is also into that. Otis elevator, I don't know what elevator do we have here. Generally, Otis के elevators, I'm sure that आपने ignore कर दिया होगा, but next time अभी now you're management students, right? So henceforth, आप कोई भी product देखेंगे, you have to keep an eye, you have to have an eye कि इसकी कंपनी कौन सी है. ठीक है, पैंटीन उनका एक प्रोडक्ट है, उसका एक SKU है, SKU is stock keeping unit, but उसकी कंपनी कौन सी है. Now since you are into management and I'm sure that you will be going into corporate sector, you need to learn this that ये product है, इसकी कंपनी कौन सी है, right? Hitachi we all know. So now we will discuss transforming resources into capabilities. So why is this important? The girl behind you. Yes, you. Yeah, you. Please stand up and share your name. Sneha, why do we require this transformation of resources into capabilities?
Because it helps us to run the business more easily and by saving time and saving the cost.
Very good. Cost saving is very important. So, and what else did you say? What was the other point that you mentioned?
Saving time and running the business
Easily. तो अगर आपका कोई बिजनेस है, आप यहाँ आ जाओ, आप आ जाओ, इधर बैठ जाओ. Be comfortable, हाँ? You're distracting my class, right? Do you understand? So when we talk about transforming resources into capabilities, it is important to develop certain core competencies. It is important to develop certain core competencies. Can you please read this for me? Correct. So what are the attributes? So when we talk about that, we have to have certain core competencies, why is this important? Because over the period of time, if you want to sustain in the market, it should not be कि आज हमने एक, do you remember Nokia? Have you used Nokia phone? The heavy, huge, ईंट वाला जो एक उसका phone आता था, right? Where is Nokia now? Nowhere, right? It is nowhere. So why is Nokia nowhere? What probably they have done wrong? They didn't, right? They didn't work on their core competencies. Changing markets. They didn't adapt to the changing markets. They didn't work on the core competency. They didn't understand that there is a certain change which is there. You want to go? You want to leave the class? So there is certain, right? So they didn't work on that there is a market and there is a changing market, there is a technology which is there, and they didn't work according to the changing markets. And we don't see Nokia anywhere, right? You know, hardly, they are not even, I don't know if people are even buying their touchscreen phones. They're still there, but I think still those keypad wala phones are still working, but otherwise they're no longer in the market. So core competencies are sort of the crown jewels of a company. So these are the activities that they perform exceptional with respect to their competitor. So if we take the example, if there are 3 guys who are sitting here, and if one of them have certain core competencies, so obviously that person would have a competitive advantage. The chances of that person having some better startup idea, if they, I'm just talking about a startup idea, right? To have a better startup idea, to make it more profitable. But how is it important? To have their core competency. So nowadays, have you heard about this organization, Bombay Shaving Company? Have you heard, have you watched their podcast and, right? So it is a startup by Shantanu Deshpande, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to remove Gillette from the market. They're like, we are coming up with this. They are working really hard. They're trying to develop their core competency. What they're working on is they're trying not just to focus on the male counterpart, but also the females also. And they are giving up the kits, and there are many things. I don't know if you guys have, you know, mostly men have visited, they have their, it is everywhere in the stores. You can find it there in the stores, right? So when I talk about Pfizer, what is Pfizer into? Medicine. Pfizer. Abhi COVID ke time pe a lot of vaccines were also there, right? So Pfizer, what is the core competency of Pfizer? See, one is there, obviously they are into medicine, and we all know that during the tough time that we all had, they were making vaccines. But having said that, what is its core competency? It is the big data analytics. So when we have a data, it is easy. So how do we use the data? Can anyone comment on it? Why is data so much important these days that everybody is talking about data?
Find the correct way to implement the business.
You tell me. Yeah. Kuch, there is no right or wrong answer. You just stand up. We are all there. We'll discuss. हाँ, मैं repeat कर देती हूँ. Why do we need data? आजकल हर जगह data की इतनी बात की होती है. Why do we talk about data? आप कुछ भी आप सोचो, अगर डेटा है क्यों? अगर आप ये मानो ये क्लास है, मुझे ये क्लास का, जैसे हम बचपन से देख रहे हैं, हमारे एक स्कोर का एक डेटा होता है, हमारे मार्क्स आते हैं, हर सब्जेक्ट के टोटलिंग होती है, उसे क्या होता है फिर? इजी होता है. एक तो हमें ये पता चल जाता है कि इस क्लास में टॉपर्स कौन है, और से हमें ये भी पता चल जाता है कि इस क्लास में वो कौन से स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिनको हमें थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा ध्यान देना है, राइट? Nobody is a weak student, first of all, but we need to give a little extra effort towards those students. So this is how we use data. अब आप इसी को extrapolate करो कि how can an organization use this data? Some data, for example, कि ये मेरा एक X product है जो 60% of women use करते हैं, 40% male use करते हैं. See, I'll tell you what. If, for example, let's take the example of Bombay Shaving Company, they are into razors, and we find that, you know, more than the data जो उन्होंने collect किया है, we all know ना, when we buy something, they take our data, नाम बता दो, email ID बता दो, phone number बता दो, और हमें messages आने लग जाते हैं that, you know, this is the discount which is going on, there is a sale which is there, you can come. This is where we need the data. We also need the data, for example, there is a company which is making razors, and there is a certain thing that we find that, you know, this is used more by women. As per our data, the buyers, the thing shows that it is utilized more by women rather than men. So how would the company use it? The company would use it, they will deploy their resources, their capabilities and their energies into making probably more products for the ladies. You understand? If they don't have a data, अगर हवा में they are making some product, कुछ चल रहा है, कोई data ही नहीं है, कौन use कर रहा है, कौन use नहीं कर रहा है, then it will be problematic. Similarly, Apple का है, we all know, innovation is there. Have you ever visited an Apple store? Abhi recently they have opened the Apple store in Saket, right? They've opened it. There's this first flagship store. Otherwise, there's this own company-owned store. Rather than they used to have it as a probably a retail outlet, this is their own company-owned store. So if you ever visit that mall, please do visit that store. You'll find the feel of that store. So they also work towards, you know, when a buyer comes, not necessarily I'm going there to buy a product. Probably I'm just going there to see the product, you know, that probably one day if I find it good enough, I'll buy the product. But they ensure that when a customer comes to their store, they have the experience that, you know, there's something they take back to. It's completely white. The products are displayed in a very profound manner, and there are salespeople who are very well trained, and then they take you, even if you're buying the product or you're not buying. We don't want to go to a store, अगर वो देखते अच्छा ये तो खरीदेंगे नहीं, तो इनको ज़्यादा दिखाने की ज़रूरत है नहीं. Right? We will never go to that store, right? Because it is the feel. Okay, fine. We are not buying it now, but probably we'll buy it later. Have the girls ever visited an ICA store? Have you visited an ICA store? Nykaa online देखा है आपने? Nykaa store भी होते हैं malls में. So what they do is, if you go to a Nykaa store, I don't know if men know about it, so it's a cosmetic, right? So if you go to a Nykaa store and if you want to buy a certain, you know, foundation or lip color or something, they would show you very peacefully. Quite possible you will not buy it. You will not buy it. But what they try to do is, they try that, okay fine, they are not buying it probably here, कोई sale आएगा तो ये online खरीद लेंगे. ये हमारे probably right now, these are not our current customers, but they are future customers. So they treat them well, right? Even if they are okay, they'll give you some free sample also or something, but they want to retain the customer. So here, since we are into strategic analysis classes, we have to understand that there are certain tools that you need to use when you will join some organization. You just can't be कि एक problem दे दिया और आप उसको वहीं पे बैठ के सोच रहे हैं. There are certain frameworks according to which you people will solve the problem. So there are two tools that I'll be discussing. One is a VRIN framework and the second is the value chain analysis. So VRIN framework से हमें ये पता चलता है that these resources, the resources that I'll be discussing, are these resources valuable? Are these resources rare? Are these resources inimitable and non-substitutable? Can you see this? अगर किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसका प्रोडक्ट वैल्यूएबल है, अभी जियो सबका बेशक प्राइमरी नंबर ना हो, सेकेंडरी नंबर तो होता ही है, राइट? कोई भी एक सबके फ़ोन में ऐसे नाम स्टोर होते हैं, एक्स जियो, मुकेश जियो, वाई जियो, सबके पास एक सेकेंडरी नंबर जियो का होता है. वाई आर वी गेटिंग इनटू इट? वाई दे हैव सच अ cutthroat policy, you know, they just entered the market at such low prices that every other organization has to reduce their price. I don't know whether you guys know, there were the times when like 1 GB, 2 GB used to be for 1200 rupees.
Yes,
1 GB, and we used to use it like नहीं अभी नहीं use करना, ये अभी कुछ देखेंगे important होगा, then we'll use it. And now what is the price? Now we use 1.5 GB daily. That used to be 1 GB for a month. Just imagine. Can you imagine this? 1.5 GB daily and 1 GB for a month. Or कैसे back in the days we would have used it. कैसे in a frugal way, right? So now Jio has made it very valuable. Because of that, every other organization had to reduce their price. Just imagine the margins that they were playing on, right? Similarly, if your product is rare, like Amul का जो cooperative model है, there it started way back, where you know they used to collect milk from the villagers in Gujarat and they used to process it, and there is a Amul dairy also there. There's a huge manufacturing. So if they have, so here in this case, what was rare? The rare was the logistics part, the distribution part. At that time, there was no other organization, no other company that could have figured out a way that how are they doing in their logistics. Abhi bhi agar if we talk about the butter, still people want to have an Amul butter. No matter there are other Neutralite and XYZ butters which are there in the market, but still they have such logistics and such distribution channels that still we want an Amul butter. If someone can give me some other example of a product or a product of an organism which is very rare, that you don't want to, even if you get something similar, you will not buy. What? किसी और का होगा, you will not buy. You will not buy. So you go to a shop and you ask for only मुझे शिप का matchstick चाहिए. Very good. अच्छा, ठीक है. Good. Any other example? So there are people who want to have Coke, so they just want to have Coke. Even if you have a product like a Pepsi or a Thumbs Up, they are too brand loyal. They don't want to go to any other product, right? For example, there is a certain clothing line that people just swear by that कि हमें यही brand पहनना है और यही पहनेंगे हम और कुछ नहीं पहनेंगे. So this, if it's a rare product, right? So if I don't know if many of you know about Tiffany's. So Tiffany's have their sterling silver products. These are so generally people it's यहाँ पे इतना शायद use नहीं करते, but US and all में they use it when they're proposing and all, so they use the product, their rings, their chains and all. These are rare products. There are very few companies which are competing with them. Okay, so now costly to imitate. अगर आपका एक product है, and even if I'm manufacturing certain product, even if he wants to manufacture that product, but if that product is costly, will you be able to do it? No, right? For example, my core competency is that I make certain tables which have display with a very clear display, and I don't require a laptop. It has everything in it, and my competitor wants to replicate it. Will that person be able to replicate it? Because it would require a lot of investment, a lot of capital. That's why if today I want to make an Apple company, I will not be able to make it. Do I have that much of capital? I don't. Probably if I aim towards it, and probably then, but right now let's be very practical. If we want to make a company like an Apple, we require certain things. We require the most important than the capital, the R&D behind it, the engineers that they have who are doing the actual research behind that product. Non-substitutable, similarly, here also I will talk about, do you know about this Dabbawalas of Mumbai? Yes. What do they do? What were they famous for? So what was their core competency and why were they in the market? और कोई भी ऐसे कोई service provider नहीं था उस time पे जो वो कर रहे थे. Correct. Abhi with the Zomatos and Swiggies of the world, what we're doing, there's a restaurant. They are making it, and then now we do have Dunzos and Zepto कि आप अगर किसी को food भी अपने deliver करना चाहें. Earlier, what it used to be, Mumbai maybe we know that there is this system of local trains and all those. So they had such accurate systems that their dabbas had certain code, area code, house code. I mean, there's no internet right now, otherwise I would have shown you one small documentary. If you guys have time, please go and watch the documentary on Dabbawala. So they have never ever delivered a product at a wrong place. So lady used to be like the men are traveling, they're starting early, ladies are not able to make food by then. So what they used to take service of Dabbawala, they used to prepare the dabba, they had this dabba, they would put it in and then they used to deliver. So this is something that at that time, till date there is no other organization that has been able to substitute this. So when we talk about value chain analysis, so value chain analysis is something which is required again to gain the competitive advantage and to have a core competency. Here we will discuss two aspects, a primary aspect and a secondary aspect. Can you please read it for me? Please be a little loud so that everybody could listen.
Primary activities are the activities or tasks the firm completes in order to produce product and then sell, distribute and service those products in ways that value for customer.
Right. What do you understand by this? आप नीचे वाला देखो, ये जो पार्ट है, एक प्रोडक्ट बना, उसका सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट हुआ, ऑपरेशंस हुए, भाई कहाँ जाएगा, ठीक है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट पे बन गया, आगे कहाँ जाएगा, कौन सी जगह डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होगी, उसकी मार्केटिंग कैसे करेंगे, क्योंकि मार्केटिंग करेंगे अच्छे से कि भाई एक नया प्रोडक्ट आया मार्केट में तो उसकी सेल्स अच्छे से होगी, या कोई एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट है बट कस्टमर की मेमोरी में बार बार हमको डालना है कि ये प्रोडक्ट एग्जिस्ट करता है, आप हमारा ये प्रोडक्ट लो, आप दूसरा प्रोडक्ट मत लो. फिर फॉलोअप सर्विस. अब आपने कोई मान लीजिए कोई एक स्पीकर खरीदा JBL का या मार्शल का या सोनी का, सो दे गिव यू दिस फॉलोअप सर्विस कि अगर आपकी उसमें कुछ भी अगर इशू होता है, you can come to us without asking any question. If we are able to, you know, correct it if there is some issue with it, otherwise we will replace it. There is a warranty. They will not ask any question. अच्छा ये ठीक से नहीं बज रहा है, इसका बेस ठीक नहीं है, ये नहीं है. They will just replace it. So people want to, if they want, especially in case of an expensive product, especially if you buy an Apple phone or an Apple watch, they have this warranty that if there is no physical damage within 1 year's time, you go and you tell them there is an issue, they will replace it for you. So why is this possible? Because when you are doing such a huge investment in a product, you want to ensure that there is certain warranty associated with it. Having said that, if I am buying some ball, a simple ball, do we need a warranty in that? You know, it may be a 10 rupee ball, it's okay. But if you are buying a product which is worth lakhs of money, we do require a certain sales, after sales service in that, right? So how many of you know about Deutsche Bank? You know what? So Deutsche Bank is known for that they have a very strong MIS system, a secure database. So when they came to our country, they wanted that, you know, they leveraged on this fact, they mentioned this, that, you know, this is that we will provide you safety and security with your money, with your data, it will not be shared, and all the information securities which were possible. Now, if I don't know if you have noticed in WhatsApp also, there is written end-to-end encryption, so that your data, whatever your interaction, they are not shared with anyone. So again, whatever values that we are talking about, whatever primary applications that we are talking about, primary, secondary, everything is centered towards customers. Everything, you know, organization, because if they want to make, if they want to gain ROI, if they want to make money, how would they get it? Sabhi, we know all this phrase, ki customer is God. Yes. Everything that they do is customer centric. If there is an HR, if you have a value chain activity which is, for example, related to distribution, this is also customer centric. How? Right. So they want to ensure that if there is a customer, if they go, so for instance, you know, if I'll go to some shop and if I ask for a biscuit, कि आप एक बिस्किट दे दो, मुझे पार्ले जी दे दो, अगर वो वहाँ नहीं हुई तो मैं ये तो नहीं बोलूँगी कि ओके आई एम गोइंग, मैं तो वही खाऊँगी बस. I can obviously pick up some other brand also. So this is where the distribution is important. You have to ensure that every store which is there in the market has your product. Because if that product is not there, you are benefiting your competitor. Somebody would pick a product which your competitor is using, right? So in this case, what about supply chain management? How is it customer centric? You can read it and say. How is supply chain management customer centric?
Basically, जो supply chain management हमें उस तरीके से प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट में सप्लाई करना है जिस तरीके से हम अपने कॉम्पिटिटर्स को सबको बीट कर सकते हैं.
Exactly.
उससे ये भी नहीं कि हम डेवलपमेंट से दे रहे हैं तो उससे हमारे प्रोडक्ट की वैल्यू भी डे बाय डे कम होती जा रही है. अगर हम उसको थोड़ा रॉयल्टी के तरीके से आगे देंगे मार्केट में तो we will make our brand.
Right. And when we talk about operations, so operations, if you notice, you know, companies, they try to have their manufacturing units near a highway. So that once they develop a product, generally if you have seen, you know, this entire belt of Manesar, and in Himachal side, Baddi and all, they make sure that they are somewhere near the highway, so that as soon as they manufacture, they reduce their cost rather than somewhere in the interior. They ensure that their operations are somewhere near the highway, so that they can they ensure that the products are well there throughout the country. Marketing also, that includes sale. आपका एक product है, उसको आप market कैसे करोगे? आप जैसे आप, I don't know how many of you have ever participated in your college fests. Have you guys participated? You've participated. उसको आपको market करना पड़ता है कि this is a fest going on. You want to enhance the, you get the sponsors. You want to increase the footfall. Sponsors आप कैसे लाते हो? आप अपने fest को market करते हो कि हमारे यहाँ पे X students आएंगे, 1000 students आएंगे, 10,000 students आएंगे. You show this picture to the sponsors. For example, if you want a sponsorship from SBI, or you want a sponsorship from some company which is into books, S Chand books है जो, so if you want a sponsorship from them, what would you do? You would tell them that there is a footfall, you can have your own canopy, आप अपना stall लगा लेना, आप अपना ये कर लेना, हम आपके लिए एक spot दे देंगे, इतने में इतने size का spot मिलेगा, एक बड़ा spot चाहिए तो इतने में मिलेगा. वो आप उनको क्या value दिखाते हो, कैसे अपने fest को market करते हो? You market your fest with the help of that this is the number of footfalls that ये celebrity आ रहा है, X celebrity आ रहा है, Y celebrity आ रहा है, वो आ रहा है, उसको सुन के crowd आएगा, footfall बढ़ेगा, वो जो product है उसके banners लगा देते हैं हर जगह, and then this is how they do their marketing of the fest and the product of the sponsor, right? Similarly, if we talk about the support function, so what are the support functions in an organization? एक कोई भी एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होती है, अभी आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट मेनी ऑफ यू हैव नॉट स्टार्टेड वर्किंग. एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक फाइनेंशियल डिपार्टमेंट, फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट होता है, एक HR डिपार्टमेंट होता है, एक MIS होता है. वे सारे किस तरफ काम कर रहे होते हैं? कस्टमर वैल्यू. HR इंश्योर करता है कि जो मार्केटिंग या सेल्स के पर्सन है, उनकी अगर कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट है तो HR डिपार्टमेंट टेक्स केयर ऑफ दैट कि हाँ ठीक है, इनकी एक सर्टेन रिक्वायरमेंट है, मान लो लीव अप्लाई कर रहे हैं या इन्होंने ट्रैवल करा है, इनके बिल्स हैं, उनको उन्हें रीइम्बर्स करना है, सो ऑन एंड सो फॉर्थ. Finance also, they provide you with your salary and stuff, right? Human resource, we all understand. So this is the Apple value chain analysis. Is it visible to everybody? Yes. Right? So I want 4 people to come up on the stage here, and let's do the value chain analysis for Google. 4 of you please come. Yeah, please volunteer yourself. You also want to come? I'll help you. Google का करना है या किसी और प्रोडक्ट का करना है ना, ज़ारा का करना है फॉर एग्जाम्पल. तो क्या होगा उसका बताओ आप कि कैसे सपोर्ट फंक्शंस HR कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है. HR है, फिनेंस है और आपका MIS है. HR कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है गूगल को टूवर्ड्स कस्टमर सेंट्रिक होना. आप गिरना ना था
एज ए कस्टमर.
हाँ नहीं, अगर एक कस्टमर को हमें एक वैल्यू कैसे मिलेगी, वैल्यू कस्टमर को, अगर हमारा ये जो सपोर्ट फंक्शंस हैं ये इन सिंक काम करते हैं. HR जो है वहाँ एम्प्लॉयज़ का ध्यान रखता है कि जो हमारे एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं they are working towards developing softwares, whatever they require. If they require certain procurement, so they are able to do it. MIS system, finance also, they are, for instance, they are provided with their salaries on time, right? So and if we talk about inbound logistic or operations, so let's take an example. For this, let's take an example of Zara. Zara के logistics क्या होंगे?
बेसिकली मैम जो फैशंस है जो करेंटली चल रहा है, बेसिकली हमें उसको देखना कि कोई और कॉपी ना करे, फर्स्ट वैरायटी ज़ारा की होनी चाहिए.
तो आप ज़ारा का देखोगे तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कहाँ की होती है? इफ यू हैव नोटिस्ड, दिस इज बांग्लादेश, देयर इज वियतनाम. These are the these are the countries where there is there is a lot of manufacturing units, and they manufacture at a lower cost, right? So these are generally, if you read about it, you will find that these are the latest hubs.
They are the cotton producing countries, I guess.
Not necessarily. It is about you get a cheap labor. You get a cheap labor, because if they manufacture this in US, it will cost them a lot. So what they look for these hubs where they can get these products. Thank you so much. So now we have come to identifying and appraising resource and capabilities. Why is this important? What is the purpose? We know what do we mean by appraising? Appraisals होते हैं ऑफिस में. अप्रेजल क्या होते हैं कि आप किसी एक एक्स एम्प्लॉय का आप कुछ एक चीज़ नोटिस करते हो, उनको अप्रेजल देते हो, किसी बेसिस पे देते हो, उनके किसी टैलेंट पे देते हो, उनके आउटपुट पे देते हो, हाउ दे आर वर्किंग, राइट. हाँ, सो हाउ डू यू मोटिवेट? You acknowledge their work, you give them certain, certificates, certain, हाँ, right, exactly, bonuses. तो उससे क्या होता है, उनको आप अप्रेजल देते हो. Here also, when it comes to resources, we have to identify the most important resources. So, and even if there are certain weaknesses, then also, we have to ensure that these weaknesses are also addressed. So, when we identify and appraise the resource and capabilities, why is this important? First and foremost, that it should have an alignment with our strategy. अगर हमारे जो resources है, अगर हम उनको use ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनको ठीक से utilize नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, and if they are not aligning with our vision, then they are of no use, right? Similarly, optimal allocation. मेरे पास certain capital है, capital, you understand, capital is the money that we have with us, right? So if we have certain capital, अगर मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि उसको मुझे उसका best use कैसे करना है. At times organization वो ये करते हैं that they use that capital in the wrong direction, and probably then they understand that it was not needed, that too much is spent in the marketing, the product was already very good, it was already, people were accepting it with the word of mouth से सब अच्छे से बिक रहा था, तो उसमें अब extra cost क्यों लगाना है to market it. At times it happens that they deploy their resource, their capital in marketing a product which probably doesn't require, or at times they use a capital to manufacture a product which is, they are having tons in the inventory and still they manufacture more of the product rather than using that capital in something else. They have used it and deployed it in manufacturing the product which is not really needed at the moment, right? And now for growth and innovation. So why is this important? To recognize areas for investment and development. अभी X product है, someone tells me, ये एक startup है, इनका Y product बहुत अच्छा है. Rather than हम इस product को बनाएं, let's take that. Not outsource is something that you're giving a manufacturing to someone. Here that can also be done, that we can outsource it. The other thing is that we can acquire that organization. So in that case also, yeah.
We take example from textile industry also. Because if we are talking about the kurtis manufacturing, they are the copies, hard design and both are.
So girls must be knowing that the Chandni Chowk is all full of the copies.
Some companies sell their product on no profit, no loss, like Parle G biscuit. The core product Parle G biscuit is sold at 0. So they are selling it on no.
See, no product can be sold on no profit, no loss, because there is an entire,
Selling it to like capture market ताकि लोगों का एक connect जुड़ा रहे. मैंने ये इनका research पढ़ा.
Just read more on it, because कोई भी organization होगी, they will not work on, they probably say it is no profit, no loss, but in most cases there is always a profit attached to it, because it is a great motivator. Because profits आएंगे, then you can use that profits to increase your business, right? The profits is not something कि profit आया and then we are going and spending it. When we get a profit, we can use that profit to expand our business. We can keep a certain share. Yeah.
Most of the cases you can see in the startup, you get the funding from the VC, they do cash burn. They give you the free product to acquire the market base.
Right.
Personally. I guess he's trying to say this.
No, he was talking about outsourcing it, and he is talking about no profit and no loss. So what you're talking about, if I don't know whether you guys have used this Milk Basket. Have you guys used? So Milk Basket is one app. It is by Jio. It is by Reliance again. And what they're doing is they're barely charging you anything, and then you have to just put an order in the app that tomorrow morning you want a Mother Dairy milk or you want an Amul milk, and morning में before 7 you will have it on your doorstep. And they're they immediately return the money. And even if and not just milk, but all the other products also. If you want bread, butter, and many other products. Perishable, non-perishable also. If you want a shampoo, you forgot at night, and then you want कि अच्छा morning में I want that shampoo. They will deliver it for you. and they're doing it at an extremely low cost. Why do you think they're doing it? They're not making profits. Why are they? Because they're trying to put you in a habit. So that, you know, for example, Jio ka, they have a similar policy, right? Jio ka internet एकदम free मिल रहा है, 5G है, free है, सब ले लो, सब use कर लो, सब उसी में लगे रहो, सब उसको use कर लो. After a point, they will put a price on it. अभी आप लोग उसके आदी हो गए, now you people are used to it, and then ठीक है, उसके बाद आपको आदत होगी, and then you are ready to spend the money on that. So abhi tak I don't know, you've covered 2 units by now, right? You have covered creating values, and the second one, the environment analysis. So till now, please note this in your notebooks, because when in the exams you will get an answer, how your answer will differentiate from others' answer would be, see, case study आएंगी, ये आप लोगों को पता है exams में case studies आती हैं, तो case study ना reading comprehension नहीं होता है, जो हम स्कूल में करते हैं इंग्लिश का, एक रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन आ गया, हमने रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन कर दिया. इट इज़ नॉट अ रीडिंग, इट्स अ केस स्टडी. इन दैट यू हैव टू गिव टेक्निकल आंसर्स, यू हैव टू यूज सर्टन फ्रेमवर्क्स दैट वुड फेच यू मार्क्स. इट इज़ नॉट अ स्टोरी राइटिंग कॉम्पिटिशन, राइट? सो यू प्लीज नोट डाउन दीज फ्रेमवर्क्स. SWOT analysis, VRIN framework, resource based view, and value chain analysis. I'll check if I can share this presentation with you guys, but फिलहाल आप इनको लिख लो. I guess you guys have read SWOT analysis. Have you studied? Huh? So what is a SWOT analysis? You tell me what is SWOT analysis? आपने पिछला क्लास किया था? No problem. आपने लिखा है ये चार्ट, आंसर्स में ये यूज करना है. ये यूज करोगे then you will be, it will look like a very, it will, you have to present a good answer. Just keep in mind it's not a reading comprehension. So SWOT analysis is, it is required to do the gap analysis. कि आपके strengths क्या हैं, आपके weaknesses क्या हैं, opportunities क्या हैं और threats क्या हैं. So when I talk about strengths, it means एक organization की internal strengths. This you can, the SWOT analysis you can do for yourself also, As an individuals, we all have certain strengths, we all have certain weaknesses. There are certain threats also that we have, from the competitor. For example, आप एक exam के लिए you want to appear. The threat is probably, there are many more people who are appearing. That what strength that you would use so that, you get a good, better rank, or you get into that competitive exam than your peers and then your competitors. And the weakness and the opportunities which are there in the market. So when I talk about strengths, can someone read this for me, please? Strengths, can you read this for me?
What do we do well? What have our customer, our partners told us they like about us?
ये surveys होते हैं, आपने देखा है बहुत जगह survey होते हैं. You go to a restaurant and when you are done eating, when your partner is paying, the other person, they come up with an tablet and they tell you कि आप rate कर दो या मैम आप इसमें feedback लिख दो. Why do they need it? They to improve. And they want to ensure that, what you write, it is very important for them. You should not take it very lightly. If you don't like something, tell them. This is why they have given it to you, so that these people can improve. आप लोग तो because even their customers are their employees. If you look at it, the customers are also employees. You also giving them a feedback. You have eaten a food, you had a lunch or a dinner, you have moved out. But then the other customers which are coming, they will ensure that they don't repeat the mistake. For example, the cutlery was not clean enough, the glasses were not clean, the cutlery was not clean, the food was not warm enough, and so on and so forth. If you mention, this is the problem that I found, it was too oily, probably they will work on it. Probably the new customer, that person, he or she would come, they will ensure that they don't repeat the mistake. Now we'll do a SWOT analysis for Apple. Here I've done it for Apple. You just go through it once and then we will do it for some other organization, okay? So just go through it once. I will share. You guys will be on Teams also, na? Eventually, है ना? I'll share it on that. No problem. But आप एक बार इसका Apple का एक SWOT analysis करो, because then we'll be using this framework to do a SWOT analysis for some other organization. See, if you guys would know these frameworks, you know, this would be your competitive advantage when you will go and start working in some organization, right? If you are well informed, when you will have, you know how it works in an organization, right? They will give you some X problem. You have to report it. You have to tell them. If you are into a consulting, anyone knows these consulting organizations like McKinsey, Bain, Deloitte, PwC? Because then you will not have a chance to develop. अगर आपका कोई competitor ही नहीं है, for example, आपको पता कैसे चलेगा where are you lacking?
But most companies prefer like coming in monopoly.
They prefer, okay, for example, we have Pepsi and Coke. We know they're competitors, but you will never find them that they will never put an ad that Pepsi product is bad or Coke is bad. They will never do it. That it has Pepsi has a high sugar content. Because if they will say Pepsi has a high sugar content, they are also having high sugar content. Both will have to vanish from the market.
Basically,
Healthy competition. It is required, you know, even बचपन से हम लोग क्लास में होते हैं, there should be a healthy competition. Why is it important? अगर किसी कोई compete ही नहीं करेगा, then what is the chance of, you know, you growing? See, competition is not bad. We have to understand this thing. Competition is something that motivates us to do better. Competition can be with yourself also, right? Like today probably I am having certain degrees or certain experience, probably I'll compete with myself and I want to have, probably I want to increase my knowledge base, right? So you've gone through this? Everybody? So now we'll do a small case study. Are you able to read it? No. एक काम करते हैं, let's divide the class. So there are 5 questions that I will show it to you. So this entire group, first of all of you read this, okay? Then we will divide the class into 4 sections and then we will proceed, right? जब पढ़ लिया हो तो मुझे बता देना, I'll move to the other slide. So this case is about a Superdry brand. I don't know how many of you know or how many of you know this brand. They are into clothing. It's a clothing brand. So you've done case studies before, na? You know how to approach a case study. Have you guys done a case study earlier? Sure, those who have done good, those who have not. So let's try to solve this case study. So case study is basically, you know, there is a problem statement in a form of a story. और आप जब case study solve करेंगे, you have to think like that you are part of this organization, and this is the problem that you have to solve. It should not be like कि एक question है और क्या, because such cases would come in the exams also, right? So if you guys have read, just let me know, huh? You can jot down certain points because आइए सारे ग्रुप को मैं एक क्वेश्चन दूंगी, फिर यहाँ से आगे ये पूरा एक ग्रुप हो गया. दिस इज यू हैव टू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन 1. ये आप लोग सब बेशक साथ में आ जाना बाद में. क्वेश्चन 2, हाफ ऑफ दिस आपके पीछे से एक अलग ग्रुप है और ये we'll have 4 groups. Okay. So please note down certain points, right? Can I move to the next slide? Right? मैं कर दूंगी अभी आप. अच्छा वापस जाना है, पिछले स्लाइड पे जाना है. I will share the question. Shall we move to the next slide? Yeah? Once you're done, you tell me, huh, if you want to move to the next slide. When you will work in organization, ऐसे problem आएंगे. If you are working in, for example, you work with Arvind Mills, yeah, you work with Shoppers Stop, or you work with Lifestyle. I'll put that slide जिस पे पूरा केस भी होगा, ठीक है? Don't worry. I'm moving to the next slide now, okay? This is the last bit. Are we good? Can I share the questions now? Okay. So these are the questions. Question 1 is for you. हाँ, I'll try 1 second. पहले आप question 1 लिख लो. Question 2 is for you guys. All of you. You can come together and close, and then you can just. Question 3 is for you guys. Okay? All of you. And question 4 is for everyone. Question 4 is for everyone, and question 5 is for you guys. Starting from you. Okay? आप लोग अगर साथ में आके काम करना चाहें तो you guys can come and आप पहले note कर लो, then I'll come up with the first page. Okay? Yeah, tell me. Question 1. For you guys it's question 2. Question 3. Question 4 is for everyone. And question 5 is for you guys. So I am giving you 10 minutes. I'll put the first slide again. Have you noted the question? So question 4 is for everyone. This is the case. You guys have 10 to 15 minutes. Decide among yourselves. And then you have to come up with a solution. And please ensure that you use certain framework. जो आज मैंने आपको 4 framework पढ़ाए हैं वो, या उसके अलावा अगर आप कोई और भी framework you guys want to use, please use that framework also. This is not a good time to leave the class. कोई बात. आप लोगों को तो नहीं हो रहा ना हेडेक? आप आगे आ जाओ. So you want to do these questions individually? हाँ, एक जना उसको represent करेगा group को, and you guys please talk among yourselves. Girls, you please participate. And I'm just not giving you more than 10 minutes, huh? You want to click a picture of this? आगे से आके आप लोग सब आप लोगों को साथ में करना है ये आगे आ जाओ You noted the question, right? ये बैठ जाओ अंदर ये साथ में कर See, why am I making this do? Because in organizations also you have to work in teams. Individually आप लोग वहाँ पे काम नहीं करेंगे, so let's start practicing right away. You also please come, join them. Sneha, right? Sneha, name. Sneha, you be the leader for your group. Okay, yeah. And coordinate, please. You guys can come आगे and then discuss. All of you please involve सबको. You be the leader of this group. Who wants to be the leader in this group? You be the leader? Okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. There's nothing right or wrong. हाँ, तो turn कर लो. You can turn and talk and discuss. I've given you a cue. You can use any of these frameworks to answer your questions. You guys also please come. Sneha, you coordinate amongst yourself. Ask your team members to come and हाँ आप लोग आगे आ जाओ so that you guys can have a proper discussion. These girls are also part of your group, guys. You all are. Sorry? I'm sorry. It's okay, ignore. You don't know the art of ignoring. We all should know. Team leaders have to ensure that everyone is involved. There will be extra marks for that. Let's discuss. Are we ready to discuss the first question? Should I give you a cue? Okay. So for the first question, you can use PESTEL. Do you understand what is PESTEL framework? So for the first question, you guys can use PESTEL. It's a cue for you guys. You want a cue how to solve this with a framework? You guys can use a VRIN framework. Huh. Question 2 can be solved. हाँ. मैनेजमेंट टर्मोइल, कुछ इशू आ गया मैनेजमेंट में, कुछ अपीवल आ गया, कोई इशू आ गया, राइट? You guys can use VRIN framework. For question 3, do you want a cue? Which framework to use? You guys can use SWOT analysis. For question 5, 4 is for everyone. For question 5, you can probably use Porter's 5 forces. I'm not seeing any discussion, guys, among yourself. Please start. You're a team leader. Start with the discussion. I have given you cues. So now let's discuss question 1. Let's discuss question 1. Okay? Guys, everybody now, enough of the discussion amongst yourself. Now we're discussing the questions. Okay? So team leader for the question 1. Read out the question firstly. Okay, everybody now, listen to her.
What influences from the external environment over the next several years do you think might affect Superbride's ability to compete? So in the last paragraph, it was mentioned that Superbride was willing to expand into international markets, especially China. So it used to dissect the SWOT analysis of the
Oh, you guys use SWOT analysis? Okay.
also especially about the
Huh, right.
threats for the company. Superbride would be the other established companies in the international market.
You come here. You please bring your notebook and then you can come. So guys, this is important, okay? Just hear her out. Come. Come here. Huh, tell me. You've done SWOT analysis? Okay. So
According to the SWOT analysis, the strength would be, of course, their newly found the experience and professional CEOs and CFOs that they have hired. Instead of just using owner-based ownerships, they are using now more professional and experienced people for running their board and as people. So their CEOs and CFOs are
Right.
professional.
right.
Then their weakness would be the needs and the wants or the styles that the existing consumers have in the other country. So it might be that the other country has their own ethnic wear that they are.
First one. They're discussing the first one. Yes. Yeah.
External environment.
Huh. So they have used PESTEL and SWOT.
For external, we have asked about external environment.
Huh. So for that mostly we use PESTEL, but they have also used SWOT. So it's, as I said, there is no right or wrong answer, right?
Yeah, so the needs and wants of the people in other countries could be different because they are going for an urban
Correct, huh.
style clothes, but maybe the other countries have still towards more ethnic clothes or more
Right.
jet type of clothes. So it's not
Okay.
necessarily that
Huh.
the clothes that they are going for are going to be accepted by the other countries. Then their opportunities are the technology may be better in the other country, maybe faster in the other countries, or more economical that will help them to save the costs, like cut costs and
Yeah.
make better profits in the other countries.
Uh-huh.
And then their threats would be the other well-established companies in the other countries that will also give an example of quality based type.
Correct.
So that might be there. And then legal also, the companies also have to face sometimes legal.
In the legal, they face personal bankruptcy, so other banks might avoid doing
Right. So now we're discussing pestle, right? Okay. So legal, what are you discussing? Legal?
So the laws may be different in the other countries.
Correct,
Maybe
correct.
they are using animal products like fur and all, so that would be allowed
Right, right.
for the other country. And the social environment could be, of course, the needs and the wants of the people. So socially, what is acceptable, if it is acceptable to wear like urban clothes or not.
Right.
And then the political environment, of course,
You have discussed it.
British government, so maybe they're amending by doing and then the
Chal they put it through entire class, and you have to be loud enough for the class.
so the economic could be that the people in the other countries are not economically well off enough for to afford their products, so they won't be able to sell much. And then technological. Of course, the technology could be better in the other countries, so they can produce, like mass produce their clothes, so it will cut costs. And then what else is there?
E. Environment. You done? ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. Now question 2. Does soup? हाँ बोलो.
question when it's politically, ma'am, they just show their brand image. It's like they just in their campaign in the TVs they again build up their brand image by the actress that now from onwards we'll be doing this and this. But they just change the mindset of the
Mindset of people. Right. And when she missed one point, which was about environment. We all know now these days we are more into sustainable products, right? Products and clothing which can be used, which are 100% cotton and which will not deplete the environment. So when we talk about the environment, you have to, exactly, eco-friendly. Now let's discuss question 2. Are we ready? Okay, who is the leader? You are the leader, right? ठीक है, चलो. Does Superdry have one or more capabilities that are valuable, rare, costly to imitate, non-substitutable? If so, why are they? If not, on which criteria do they fall short? Okay. इसमें आप VRIN framework लगा सकते थे. What is the value attached to it? Is this rare? Is their product something which cannot be imitated? Is their product something which cannot be substituted by other product? Think now, think something on those lines. आपने कुछ लिखा है? अच्छा, मेरा टीम. इसमें आपको when you read it, did you find anything which was valuable? हाँ. So this is we are discussing the valuable about the product only. Yeah. So the product, right? What was the value attached to it? It had a Japanese print, right? And it has a certain vintage Americana urban street, right? Then what is rare in this? Rare. Think इसमें लिखा था. Something rare was the theatre and personalities of the store. This was rare. It was the differentiation part. Then costly to imitate. Is this costly to imitate? Superdry products. If you've read, this is something. This was found in 1985. So they have a legacy. So when, like, for instance, a Tata group, that group has a legacy. So it is not very easy to imitate that legacy. Similarly, Superdry is one brand which has a legacy which was found in 1985. So it is difficult to imitate. You know, I don't know if you have noticed, Levi's also sell on this, that we are the oldest denims, and you know, people are like, they blindly go and buy those denim, in spite of there are new brands which are coming up, but they prefer Levi's because they think, you know, they have a legacy, they know what they are making. And what is non-substitutable? Maybe the design of the product. So see, listen, why we are doing this exercises, because our aim is that when we get a question, be it in the exam or when you will be working in an organization, you should be able to come up with a solution to it, right? Now question 3. Start. Will the actions that Superdry is taking solve its problems? Why or why not? Come. What framework have you used?
One normal problem identifier and giving the solution.
Okay.
We identify the problem.
You have not used any framework? I asked you guys to use a framework because it will give.
We add on the answer.
Okay, okay, no problem. Haan. You come here, please. You come here. So you know, there's a mic so that you can. Haan, take it.
Ma'am,
Haan, start.
first of all, they entered the market without any doing a research. So they have, you know, expand their businesses without any doing a research or business analytics, and their expenditure has increasing day by day, and they do not hire a trained staff who sell their product in the market. So that is we identify. There is no social media, campaign they have used.
So whatever is given in the case study, we just stick to that.
This is the problem we identify.
Okay.
They expanded without any research. So now we come to the conclusion. We had a new CEO who has a good market exposure and who has, passed out from the good B schools, and they have a.
So this is the strength, right? New CEO, okay?
The new CEO we hired, and he had also a good team, and those who are trained professional, and they had the person who was a certified on the customer service selling, because they deployed their customer services in the new retail outlets where we are going to sell the product.
Okay.
And they also convince Elba, it's a model. She's an influencer. See, the CEO is used their influence Instagram to encourage the participant of the young.
Where is it mentioned Instagram?
We are adding on.
Why are you adding? You need not add.
Now we are going on 2020.
No, that's okay. Let's just stick to the case right now.
And he also.
See, the whole point of the case is that back then what they would have done, right? Futuristic, so we can say many other things, right? हाँ, ठीक है, आगे.
And he also, captured the target audience of 25 to 30 age group, and he knows where the crowd watching the product.
Correct.
So he conduct, the event, let's say sports event, to capture the high volume crowd.
Correct. ठीक है.
And he also expand his businesses in the different countries also, because earlier he was stick to the same country. Now he expand his business to China and other countries, and also outsource the business where we get the cheap labor and we manufacture our product.
So do you think the actions that they have taken will solve their problem?
Yes. This is
Yes.
also
Yes. So when you answer, when in the exam also, when you guys will answer, you have to start with, do you agree with this, or you want to say something? Yeah, please tell me. Thank you so much. Girls, please participate. Hi, you please come here. Come here. कोई बात नहीं, it's okay, come here. Girls are smart. You don't need pen and paper. Come. नहीं कोई बात नहीं, it's okay. You want to add a point? Anyone else wants to add a point here? You want to add something? Okay, now let's discuss question 5, and then eventually we'll discuss question 4. So question 5, who's the leader? What actions would you recommend the management of Superdry take to resolve its problems, turn around the performance of the firm? आप क्या उनको recommendations देंगे? You please come here. It's okay, you know, these are the times. These are the times that you can remove your hesitation. Sorry, what? Okay, we'll discuss it among ourselves. You please come here first. It's okay. See, when you are in a classroom setting, these are the times that you can make mistakes and it's okay. You know, but once you will be in an organization, you will not get a chance to make mistakes. Your one mistake will be taken like as if you know what you've done. So it's okay. Even if you people have certain communication problem, this is the time we all can resolve it. Any issue, we all can resolve it. Okay, so yeah. What are आप अभी ऐसे सोच के बताओ, what are the recommendations that you would give?
Ma'am, first of all,
हाँ.
we analyze the market and what the strategy we use to enhance the company.
And हाँ, और क्या बोलोगे अगर आप इस organization में, if you're working in this organization and this is the problem, you are the brand manager. Quite possible you can be a brand manager in future.
Ma'am, in this situation कि मैं एक particular टारगेट करूँगी पॉपुलेशंस में, होल पॉपुलेशन में एक पर्टिकुलर को टारगेट करूँगी कि जैसे अगर मैं इसको टारगेट करती हूँ तो मेरा जो ब्रांड है वो इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, ब्रांड भी और सेल्स भी मेरी इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, जिससे प्रॉफिट भी इंक्रीज हो जाएगा.
तो किस टाइप के ऑडियंस या किस टाइप का आपका टीजी होगा, कौन सा टारगेट ग्रुप होगा?
इट्स डिपेंड ऑन द एज ग्रुप ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट.
सो इज दिस क्लासरूम कैन बी अ पॉसिबल टारगेट ग्रुप?
Yes, ma'am, it can be.
Yes. Why? Because
of the requirements of
requirement. You know, they are in college, they want urban and street style. Yes. So these can be the people whom you will target. Any other recommendation? Thank you so much. Any other recommendation? You have any recommendation? Come. It's okay. You can. It's okay. Do you have any other recommendation there? If you are the brand manager of this organization, what would you suggest to the CEO of the company? Yeah. I'm sorry, can you come here, please? No, it's okay, you come here, it's fine. Guys, if I call someone here, so, it's important because in future also you will be asked, to give a report, you have to do all these things. Even if you are hesitating or something, it's okay. This is the time to remove that hesitation. Yeah, so you tell me.
Do a cost cutting, promoting and marketing.
What kind of marketing strategies that you would use? Come. आप ऐड कर रहे हैं, you're giving it in some newspaper, जैसे they have used a model, right? They have used a star so that people follow like BTS today's time. If BTS would come up with something, if they are given some brand, so everybody would buy that brand, right? If we have YouTube influencers, if they promote certain brand, then everybody would be after that brand. The way he said, Instagram and all. So these are the latest things that people are utilizing. If you have more than, do you understand how it works? If you have more than 7,000 followers, you can be given some brand to promote. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have any recommendations? Yeah, tell me.
We can run the campaign, where we capture the young crowd. Suppose we conduct events. Yeah, suppose we conduct any fest, high profile fest, you can say a football match. So we can put our brand there and promote. Suppose we hire models to wear this style.
Correct.
We're talking about case studies, and it look trendy. So we can add the value from that because if someone is wearing how they look likely.
See, these days it is very easy. Earlier it was difficult. The whole medium was probably an ad on TV. Probably some YouTube, something, but now it is easier, you have Instagram, you have influencers, you have followers. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
If we are talking about this company, they is stable with 1985 with us. तो इसकी brand value तो मैम automatic बनी हुई
बट हाँ बनी हुई
That
है,
is the internal problem जो कंपनी के अंदर
कंपनी
हुआ
के
है,
अंदर आ रही है, हाँ,
तो हमारे कस्टमर की जो हमारी वैल्यू है, कस्टमर की जो इक्विटी है, वो तो हमारी सेम ही रहेगी.
आपकी वैल्यू क्यों कम हुई है? बिकॉज नाउ योर कस्टमर्स आर नॉट बाइंग योर प्रोडक्ट. सी एवरीथिंग इज कस्टमर सेंट्रिक. Since now your customers are not buying your product, that's why your value has gone down.
Why we are expensing the brand promotion? हम
So that
customers को इसमें
हाँ एग्जैक्टली अगर एक कोई पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड है उसको नाउ पीपल आर नॉट बाइंग इट, हाउ विल यू पुश इट इन द मार्केट?
I know that we
राइट
are doing the
हाँ
Of the
हाँ
brand is good, but the thing is that people are not aware of it. That is why we do branding.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that it might be in the past it would have happened that their quality was not good, but now they have improved it. So that is why they brand that you should to the customers that you should try it and might be they like it.
right. So we guys know Adidas, Nike, these brands. So you know, yeah.
if we are same case study will discuss like a Haldiram. We have the same condition with like that. क्योंकि पुराना है, नाम भी stable है. अगर हल्दीराम के अंदर sometimes कुछ होता है. Nowadays you know that कि हल्दीराम का जो posting है advertisement की वो काफी कम है comparing to other brands.
You know what you guys don't know? They are active. In spite of they are having their legacy. Do you think they now they are like कि अब तो हमारा product बिक रहा है, हमें marketing की ज़रूरत नहीं है? How do they market? You will find Haldiram everywhere. कि कहीं भी आप किसी भी मार्केट में चले जाओ, you go to चांदनी चौक or you go to South X, you go to Saket, you will find a Haldiram. It's not like that they have a legacy, we are like 200 years old, now there's no need to promote our brand. No. This is more of a reason to promote your brand. Yeah.
One more strategy we are going to reduce the price of the product
Huh.
to enter the crowd.
See, you know, when we reduce the price, it's not always a good strategy because it also maligns your brand image, right?
Ma'am, we reduce in some cases when there are several competitors.
Because not all reducing a price is not always one of the best strategies because when we buy a product, people not associate a product, just कि अच्छा ये कपड़ा है मैंने पहना है, it is to cover my body. They also associate it with their brand value. How people perceive me. If someone is wearing a brand,
This is a street wear, na?
हाँ.
So that will also help. Suppose we introduce a product in M&M concert.
हाँ.
M&M crowd is totally hardcore crowd.
Correct.
It's
हाँ.
a rapper.
Yeah.
So this type of dressing, the youth is used to imitate the Eminem style.
Right.
So we encourage our promoter to put their product
Right.
in the
So whenever there are metal bands and all those going on, they can promote. So now the final question number 4. What value does Superdry create for the customers? What is the value that Superdry create for the customers?
Ma'am, first of all, the main value is that they apologize, just like by doing the branding again, by building their brand image again. Just like, so that is the case that now they assured to the customers that now from now onwards they'll be on the same thing.
अच्छा इस क्वेश्चन थोड़ा एक ट्विस्ट लाते हैं. थैंक यू गिव मी दिस आइडिया. अगर आज के टाइम पे ये होता नॉट इन 13-14 नाउ इन 23, व्हाट वुड बी द वैल्यू दैट इट वुड गिव टू द कस्टमर? राइट. Good, very good.
So they always have that attractive personality which is loved by all of the customers.
Correct. What about you guys? Fourth question, if we have to answer in today's time. You tell me. What value? आपको क्या समझ आया इस क्वेश्चन से? What value does Superdry create for its customers?
And we can use khadi product.
हाँ, probably.
These days, like youth and people are more of health conscious and so like as I have already studied British market, their organic colors and all are
हाँ.
so much.
Right.
They can do like they can start up something like organic clothes or something like that.
Right. The way he said that khadi. Customized clothes. Yes. Customized clothes. You know these brands like Adidas and Nike, what they do, they are a very established brand.
Connect themselves from sentiments of the customer तो ताकि मतलब वो एक तरह से sentimental होके भी ले चीजें.
Correct. So these brands what they do to revitalize themselves, अभी भी इनका एक पूरा एक वो निकलता है कि भाई फॉर इंस्टेंस विराट कोहली इज पार्ट ऑफ द रीबॉक में या उसमें प्यूमा में अनुष्का एंड विराट are there. Why do they need all this? They are a well established brand, but they are trying to create a certain value. They're trying to touch the sentiments, as you said, they're trying to touch the sentiments of the customer, right? So you tell me, I asked you, what is the value that they have created for Superdry for the customers? Yeah, I'm asking you. देखो इसमें क्या कि अगर मैं वो सुपर ड्राई का प्रोडक्ट मैं खरीद रही हूँ, वो प्रोडक्ट को मैं यूज़ कर रही हूँ, वेयरिंग द टी शर्ट, what is the value that I am getting out of that? Pocket friendly, that could be exactly that probably you know कि हम कैसे कहते हैं कि अच्छा वो they have used this X model, probably if I'll wear that particular brand, probably I'll also look like that model or something.
So that it becomes reliable brand. And even as you said nowadays,
So complex brands like किसी भी सेलिब्रिटी को मतलब एक्ट ऐसा करें कि सेलिब्रिटी की हमारी चीज़ें यूज करते हैं.
हाँ, so good. Like I don't know, you guys remember Maggie बीच में बंद हो गई थी. They changed मैगी का वो टेस्ट उन्होंने चेंज कर दिया था. उन्होंने ऐसा क्या किया था? What was their strategy जिससे it again were accepted in the market एकदम seamlessly? Whom did they use? Yeah. No, they have used one Bollywood star for the promotion. Who said? Yes. So as soon as there was a certain so that हाँ उसमें like कि मेरी वाली मैगी they wanted to engage everyone that you know you write a story of Maggie, it will be published in the newspaper. मेरी वाली मैगी, मेरी हॉस्टल वाली मैगी, रैपर पे भी आता था राइट है ना, उसकी हॉस्टल डेज वाली मैगी, नाइट मूवी वाली मैगी एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स. So yeah, these are the things that you know when you will get questions probably in an online class. What would you want me to discuss? You would want me to discuss more cases, or you would like to discuss, you would like to delve deeper into these concepts, or you want me to revise the concepts again? Case studies are good?
case studies plus concepts and deep learning.
हाँ.
Some important topics.
Right. क्योंकि ऑनलाइन क्लास में भी I would appreciate if you guys are there. So these guys have not participated. You have not participated in the class. चलो आप बताओ ये what actions would you recommend? I'm sorry. अच्छा तो आप भी बोल दो एक बारी. What would you recommend? अच्छा अगर मान लो इसकी जगह आप चलो let's do this in the next class. Okay, let's do this in the next class. So यार I want all of you to participate first of all. ठीक है, this is very important. I don't know how you have yeah. For example, अच्छा you're talking about age wise.